And now, an 8th special presentation.
This time on Art Beat Nation. Learn the shocking truth behind some frightening old photographs.
Well, we're looking at a very scary American horror story.
If these walls could talk, they'd speak loudly.
And murals were used as a tool, and because they're narrative, they spoke out.
Is there a formula to making people laugh?
Comedy is tragedy plus time.
And a beloved Broadway production goes local.
It's absolutely nothing like Camelot. This is so much more fun.
It's all ahead on this edition of Art Beat Nation. Funding for Art Beat Nation is made possible by contributions to 8 from viewers like you. Thank you. In our first segment, we take a look back at some haunting photographs by 19th century photographer Albert Ewing. To modern viewers, the spooky, cloaked figures hiding in the background of these images are the makings of a nightmare. But today, we uncover the mystery and learn just how instrumental a role they played in early photography.
Albert Ewing was born in 1870. He was born in Lowell, Ohio, which is in the southeastern part of the state. He became a photographer in 1896 and photographed until 1912. Hidden mothers. Well, how would you, at that time, when you had to sit still for at least 15 seconds, record an image of a child? And if you moved, it would be blurry, or you would just get a streak. So what Ewing did was what any clever photographer would do, is cover the caretaker, the mother, the father, whoever it was, with a blanket, and then put the baby or the child right on their lap. And then in the darkroom, he could actually sort of crop out that blanketed figure in the back, and you would look like you just had the baby there, and people would wonder how the baby just laid still. Well, we're looking at a very scary American horror story of a blanketed figure and 3 children. Really, though, it is mom under a blanket who's probably keeping her children calm. And you notice it's a dark material. So probably what he's going to do in the dark room, or what he did do, is make the entire background black. So all you would see is the kids. And then, of course, you crop out the legs. So if you go from, say, the shins up, you could actually see how you could create a nice little photograph of the 3 kids in that particular image without mom there. I think it's Ewing's blanket, and you can kind of see her hands holding the baby there. To me, what's interesting is if you think about what he had to go through in the darkroom to kind of get rid of the hands near the baby or turn that plaid blanket into something that was black. That would have been the art of developing. And you know, even in this one, they probably had to redo it because the baby was not very happy. So what they did here is they covered the chair with the blanket, and it looks like mom, or whoever, could be older sister, could be grandmother, is kneeling in the back, and you can see her bonnet. The way that they're able to keep her calm is by actually sticking her hands through the blankets and then just holding her there. But he probably, when he made the print, he probably cropped out the feet, because the feet kind of look funny. They have a foreshortening there that doesn't really work. And he probably just kept the bib around the top and then cropped out the top and then came in, and it probably looked like a studio shot. In the 1890s or the early 1900s was the first time that regular folks would be able to pay a quarter, a dime, or whatever it was to get a picture of each of their children. So in the early days, you see more family portraits. You don't really see pictures of individuals in the family. This was the first time where people could afford it.
Up next, join us as we walk the halls of Texas Southern University in Houston. For more than 60 years, its walls have served as a canvas for expressive students. And today, lined with over 100 murals, they're dripping with American history.
Mural painting has been a required course on the Texas Southern University's campus since the inception of the art program. There are approximately 128 murals on the campus. Texas Southern University was founded in 1947. There was already an existing institution that became Texas State College for Negroes. Now we know it as Texas Southern University. Dr. Biggers was brought to Texas Southern University in the spring of 1948. He was already established as a muralist, working at Penn State, and he had heard so much about Texas. So he pretty much enjoyed the South here and saw it as an opportunity to begin to tell the story of art and the community, because he saw it as a rich, vast territory. This building was the second building on the campus, and the art program was housed on the third floor. One of the first things they did was to begin painting murals. All these murals are by students. Many of the early students were former military recruits who had come here. So some of the first murals done in the early 50s show some of that experience. You'll see the importance of becoming successful, and that success pretty much tied to education. You'll see reflections of the rural South, so you'll see cotton and other parts of the trade. As you move into the 60s and the civil rights movement begins to heat up, you begin to see some of the important figures of that civil rights struggle, including the presidents and Martin Luther King. As you get into the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, you'll see a change in color. The temperature is much warmer, hotter. You'll still see some of the earlier concepts of survival, of moving forward, of the importance of education. Religion is also very strong in these works. Kermit Oliver has 2 full murals as well as a few little vignettes, so he was quite prolific. You'll also see the murals of Jesse Cifuentes.
I came to Texas Southern in 1973, and the 70s was a different era. Well, the instruction was you have to paint a narrative. It has to tell a story. My mural is in a geometric form instead of the naturalistic representation. It shows a family together. It shows a young family, and it shows also some grandparents. They're seniors, they have white hair, and they got grandchildren. When I see the murals now, I think about a history. It shows a legacy. It shows, it tells a story also. Each mural will give a different narrative of the time they were being painted.
My name is John Bullock, and I graduated in 2008. Well, it's titled They Shall Be Filled. So I just really wanted to figure out a way visually to tie in the Old and the New Testament, as well as having Jesus as this centerpiece in the communion. It definitely is a rigorous process. You gotta really figure out how to tie all the pieces together. So the biggest part for me was to spatially represent, this storyline and have something that people can kind of walk through and see, a narrative. And I actually intentionally used some of the same color palette from that mural and my mural so they wouldn't compete too much, and really work in harmony. I used to take breaks when I first started with just a bare white wall and a grid and kind of look at that mural just to kind of figure out kind of how they got to their end point and visualize how we get to mine. So it, was a huge inspiration just to be right next to it.
Over the years that Dr. Biggers spent at Texas Southern, he developed quite a career for himself as well as having motivated a number of students. Before his retirement, he did the large mural, which we think is his crowning jewel, in the Sterling Student Center. That's a wonderful large mural called Family Unity that reflects his change in style as well as his interest in the African diaspora. I would say that we have quite a unique experience on this campus where you're surrounded by works that tell stories and give you the history, but do so in a beautiful, quiet way. People can learn so much from the murals, and they have appreciated them over the decades.
The murals here at Texas Southern, I think, are treasures. As a pen is to a writer, the brush is to a muralist. And murals were used as a tool, and because they're narrative, they spoke out. So I think that it gave the artist a voice.
I think there's only a few people that can really say they're a part of a legacy of over 50 years. To be a part of this, it's a huge honor. This is a gem in the city of Houston and actually in the country. There's not too many places like this.
For more, visit umusetsu.org. Thanks in part to comedies like Portlandia, Portland, Oregon has become a punchline of many a joke. But in our next segment, we meet the locals who are taking their city back and making it funny in their own way. Watch as they teach us the art of comedy.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming out to Down to Funny at the East Burn. We're here 2 times a month.
Katie Bryan has a day job, but this is what she really loves to do.
I've been in Portland for a few years now. I'm from Southern California, and there's some things here that are really different from where I grew up.
She's the host of Down to Funny, a showcase of up-and-coming local stand-up comedians. Here's tonight's lineup.
Danny Feltz. D-A-N-N-Y-F-E-L-T-S.
These people are funny just spelling their name.
Dan Duncan. D-U-D.
The material ranges from family-friendly to racy, and all the comedians are here to sharpen their skills.
What could be more Portland than? One time I thought to myself, I was on a bus and I was like, I've got it. What could be more Portland than a pirate on a bike? I think I'm epic. I think I'm really quite epic. I'm not really even close to epic. Like 3 days later, I'm on Hawthorne Street and Portland replies to me with a bagpiper on a unicycle. Just like, I can't top that.
You have to be really good at failing, like a lot. Yeah. Like a lot. Because sometimes it's gonna be awesome and the rest of the time it's just gonna be maybe the worst thing you've done to yourself.
Behold, beautiful Portland, Oregon, the descriptive positive noun of the Northwest. Portland is home to a moderately large amount of people, most of whom are from place other than Oregon.
You guys ever stand at one end of a hammock and make the Spider-Man hand so it looks like your web is shooting across the other tree?
Everybody give a big warm welcome for Shane Torres.
My name is Shane Torres. I received that name because my mother is an Irish immigrant and my father was a Mexican immigrant, and that makes me Catholic. And this year for Lent, I'm giving up hope. It's a dumb name, Shane Torres, because Shane is like extremely Irish, and Torres is like the Smith of Mexican last names. But it could have been so much worse. Like if my dad had been Irish and my mom had been Mexican, my parents could have named me something like Juan McDougal.
Down to Funny started when Katie asked an East Portland bar to take a chance. East Bern offered the tap room, usually a home for sports fans. The show is free, and it's slowly building an audience.
I saw this place that opened up recently. I don't know if anybody saw it. It's called Club Soda. And I'm like, that is tasteless.
I understand everything's perspective. I just don't look at it that way.
We have turned people who were here for Monday Night Football. We've turned them around from the TV screen, and they have watched the entire show. Comedy is tragedy plus time. I was asked to teach a women in stand-up comedy workshop at the Siren Nation Festival that they have every year at the Kennedy School. Doing stand-up is the best therapy I have ever had, besides my therapist. What I really enjoy about it is telling embarrassing stories that people can relate to. The greatest feeling ever is when something happens and when something hits you and you're like, oh, that's a joke.
Katie asks her students to brainstorm ideas from their own lives, then they begin sharing.
We did the bike commute challenge at work a couple months ago, and we had a group ride, and it ended up being 2 of us. And so the other,
Then the woman stands up and she goes, "That was the longest flight I've ever been on."
It's a start, and Katie wants her students to learn more about the structure of comedy.
The topic is what your joke is about. The attitude is how you feel about it, and the premise is point of view on the subject. It's scary, but it's so worth it. I love it so much. For me, it was just about showing how to use humor as a way to deal with things, because that's exactly what I do. I'm gonna do a joke for you guys. I love being an aunt to my sister's kids, because you get to hang out with these little kids. They think you're awesome. They're way cooler with you than they are with their parents. So I take my nieces out, get them all jacked up on sugar and caffeine, and then as soon as they start acting like brats and pooping their pants, I just drop them back off on my sister's doorstep and I go and have a life. It's such a sweet deal, right? I really love being an aunt to my sister's kids. But what I'm really excited about is someday being an aunt to my own kids. I mean, I know I'm gonna be a really good mom, but no one's gonna ever come before me.
What we have here in Portland right now, with the amount of talent we have, it's something that could be special, you know? Something maybe people 15, 20 years will look back on and be like, that was an important scene. There was so much talent that came out of that one area. I'm a big worrier. I worry a lot. I feel like my generation is constantly letting me down. I don't feel like anyone in my generation knows how to protest right. It's a really simple skill, but they constantly keep messing it up. Like a friend of mine dragged me to an Occupy protest a few months ago, and I really wanted to get behind the cause, but I couldn't. Because there's one joker there who's walking around with this giant sign that just read, "Government abuse is child abuse." And that doesn't make any sense. That's not how you protest. You don't just pit 2 things you don't like together and go, checkmate, your move, government.
I love Christopher Walken and groovy 60s music so much that when Christopher Walken dies, I would like to have an entire outfit made out of him. Just so when someone's like, "Hey, Katie, I like your boots," I can be like, "Oh, these boots are made from Walken." I don't want to make money off of it, and I don't want to be famous, and I don't want to be cool. I just want to put on something that makes people laugh and makes people happy. Thank you for supporting live comedy, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Finally, join us for laughs at the Central New York Playhouse in Syracuse, where the Broadway hit Spam-A-Lot is lovingly reinterpreted by a troupe of volunteers. The demanding script may require each performer to play multiple roles, but it's a challenge they couldn't be happier about.
Just push your lips and whistle, that's the thing. And always look on the bright side of life.
I'm Dustin Zarni. I'm the artistic director of the Central New York Playhouse. We opened up November 1st, and we're a all-volunteer, not-for-profit organization dedicated to giving local actors and artists a chance to showcase their work.
You're fooling yourself. We're living in a dictatorship, a self-perpetuating
perpetuating autocracy with the working classes. There you go, bringing class into it again.
Over 130 artists come in our various different programs. We have full-scale musicals like Spamalot.
A 5-ounce man could not carry a 1-pound coconut.
Spamalot is the musical adaptation lovingly ripped off of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which has been an iconic movie for many people, not only of my generation, but of subsequent generations.
King Arthur found the Lady in the Lake and found the sword Excalibur, and she kind of helps him find his way to the Holy Grail. And there's a lot of stumbles and blunders along the way. They run into the Knights of Ni and some French can-can girls that are mighty dangerous.
Who's the king? Who's the king?
Spamalot is a Tony Award-winning musical. This has been a very highly sought-after property. In fact, this is the Central New York amateur premiere.
It's really the Monty Python version of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's absolutely nothing like Camelot. This is so much more fun because it's a spoof, and you get to do things that you normally don't get to do, and we've added some things that I think the audience will find humorous locally, because if they've been around the area, they'll get it real quick.
This is my third musical in a row with the Playhouse, and this makes fun of every Broadway musical out there, every type of Broadway musical, so it's been really neat because that means I get to play all different kinds of music.
So many of both the cast and the crew double up. So people such as Liam Equality Fitzpatrick, who, in addition to playing various roles, is also assisting on the crew. And there are people with multiple roles in this show, which involves some really tough costume changes.
I am in the ensemble. I also play Sir Not Appearing, Sir Bors, and the Black Knight.
If she floats like a duck, she's made of wood, and therefore
The ensemble is a very small one. I think it's six guys and 6 girls, and we each have about 10 costumes. We play probably 7 or 8 roles each, if not more.
This show is crazy. There are set pieces and props and everything moving all the time, and having to make sure that all of the changes are timed out really carefully.
There's a lot to it. It's not just get up and have the actors move around a little bit. There's things that fly in and move off.
Are you suggesting coconuts migrate? Oh, wait a minute. Supposing 2 swallows carried it together.
I've gotten a lot older during this production. A lot of this gray hair is because of this production.
I am Arthur, King of the Britons. King of the who? The Britons. Who are the Britons? Well, we all are all Britons.
We knew that when we wanted to do this property, we wanted to go big or go home. And we wanted to really showcase what we could do here in this space. I think a lot of people say, oh, well, theater in a mall, what can it be? Well, I think when they come to see this show, they're gonna see that we can do a lot of great things in an unconventional space.
For more information, visit cnyplayhouse.com. For more arts and culture, visit azpbs.org/artbeat, where you'll find feature videos and information on the Arizona art scene. Funding for Artbeat Nation is made possible by contributions to 8 from viewers like you. Thank you.